The tropical flavor of Miami, Florida attracts millions of visitors annually, thanks in part to the warm weather, beautiful scenery, and exotic culinary scene. It's also a major hub for the Caribbean diaspora in the United States. And fittingly, it's home to the biggest Caribbean culinary art competition in the industry, Taste of the Caribbean. This summer, 9 chefs representing the United States Virgin Islands traveled to Miami, Florida to compete in the Taste of the Caribbean Culinary Arts Competition. The annual event, hosted by the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, brings together the best culinary artisans from around the Caribbean, putting them in the kitchen for a week, testing their skills and pushing their limits in timed, unrehearsed cook-off contests. From the start, the drama was at a fever pitch as each chef was tested in both individual and group cooking competitions. For some veterans, there was a score to settle.
This year I'm looking to accomplish gold. I'm looking to win this. I want to be the Caribbean Bartender of the Year.
While for the first-timers, it was about proving a point to themselves and their peers.
I don't want to sound cliche, but it's like a dream come true. Like, you watch it on TV all the time, and you see these guys, and you see how much work they put into it, and all of that. And again, you know, you try hard to do something like this, and I guess going in a competition is like almost close to like being to the top of your job.
For 5 days, chefs from the United States Virgin Islands went toe-to-toe with chefs from 13 other Caribbean nations who also had culinary gold in their sights. No matter what curves were thrown their way, no matter the added pressure of time or lack thereof, Team USVI came to win. This is Taste of the Caribbean, Team USVI.
Well, fresh out the gate, I feel good about coming back. It feels really good to be back in Miami. I tasted the Caribbean. I think I'm in a better position than I was last year, a little bit more confident and comfortable, being mic'd up, being, you know, in front of a lot of people with the judges right around me, that, you know, that real sharp criticism.
I've been probably a ball of nerves, but a little bit excited. I used to compete in high school, just not really on this level, and the main focus for this competition is, you know, the Caribbean. So we really want to focus on the flavors and stuff that are in the Virgin Islands, which there's a lot more flavors than I realized. We really have a lot of local fresh fruits and stuff that are really good, but the public really doesn't get to see them. So it's kind of a win-win. I can do my pastry thing, and we could kind of showcase things that are local to our islands.
I guess coming off of the plane, I wasn't even thinking about a competition really at that point. I was just like, I want to see who all came back, like the teams and stuff like that. Like, I thought BVI would have been here this year, but they weren't. And it was like a team, like, they're close to home, so it's like you want to see what they're coming with and stuff like that. But you just want to see who's back and who you're competing against, basically, is what that is when you land.
You know, I really, being invited to be the senior chef of the U.S. Virgin Islands culinary team definitely is a huge honor. I've only came back home to represent my country and to showcase and highlight what we do.
I always love coming back to Miami, seeing other teams congregating, learning other stuff from other people that's from the islands just like us. Different cultures, different styles of food with the same product that we all use together. So I always like being here, helping the team out. It's like a brotherly type thing.
I mean, first of all, This is an amazing event. I mean, bringing 13 different islands together in one ballroom, you know, is just amazing.
For me to be in this competition, I was happy about it, and yeah, when I came in, coming off the plane, everything was really like an overwhelming draw of like excitement.
I was very intimidated in the beginning. I was like calling my mom. I was like, "Mom, I don't think I could do this. Like, there have so much people here. I just want to come home. I can't do this."
You're going in the kitchen. You don't know the kitchen. You don't know what products you get. You have a principal idea from the trainings what you want to do, but still, it's all on you. I mean, I cannot help writing the menus. I cannot help exec the junior chef. I cannot help standing next to them or screaming from the barrier into the kitchen what they're doing wrong or when they make mistakes. It's kind of nerve-wracking.
Taste of the Caribbean Team USVI is brought to you in part by the United States Virgin Islands Department of Tourism. USVI Nice.
So nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet Santa Mas nice. So nice, so nice. Send cry full of pure vibes. So nice, so nice. Send John a real paradise. So nice, so proud to be from the Virgin Islands and the whole place nice. To experience your Virgin Islands nice, go to visitusvi.com.
Taste of the Caribbean Team US Virgin Islands is brought to you in part by International Capital and Management Company, private merchant bankers.
On day one, the chefs learned the lay of the land in preparation for the first day of competition. For some, their nerves were on edge, but they were able to look to the veterans for advice.
We know about it, brother. Just do your It's cooking regardless.
All right, are you all ready? Yes. Excellent. Okay, so for most of you, you already know the rules, but I just want to go over them one more time so that we're all on the same page and everything is clear. If you have any questions, now it's a really good time to ask.
Here's how the point system works. 65 points are allotted from the tasting judges, while 35 from the kitchen judges. How the kitchen judges score the teams can mean the difference between gold and silver. They are looking for how clean the teams keep their kitchen. Teamwork, waste management, which boils down to how the chefs utilize their ingredients and that they are not wasting any materials that should be a part of the meal.
You can take the ingredients from the common table. You pick the ingredients from your mystery box. This year in the mystery box we're only gonna have protein. So proteins only, and then everything else is gonna be on the common table. You pick what you need, you write your menu, and then an hour afterwards your menu needs to be submitted. You have to pick up all the ingredients that you need from the common table, and we're gonna close the common table down, okay?
A portion of this program is brought to you by First Bank. Together, we are one.
2-bedroom, 1 bath.
3-bedroom, 2-bath.
How close to school?
How far from work?
Small yard close to town.
Or a large garden in the country.
With all the decisions that come with buying a home, the most important is choosing a local lender that understands the market.
And understands our personal goals.
Home ownership begins at First Bank, and you have our commitment. We'll be with you every step of the way. First Bank, together we are one.
Taste of the Caribbean, Team USVI, is made possible in part by the West Indian Company Limited.
The cruise industry is growing globally as more people are traveling based on value and destination. As the demand for cruise travel increases, the cruise lines are building bigger ships and the ports have the responsibility to make accommodations. That's why West Indian Company Limited is doing its part to prepare for our future. The West Indian Company Limited. Stability, prosperity, our future.
While there are leaders on the floor in Chef Sean and Chef Michael, the team also has a leader behind the scenes, Lisa Hamilton. Lisa is the president of the USVI Hotel and Tourism Association, but she is also the mastermind behind putting together the talent of every culinary team.
Well, the ultimate goal is always try to get representation from all of the islands.
This is actually, I'll be honest, the first year I was able to pull them in from all 3 islands. It's very difficult for an individual restaurant to give up their main chef, not only for the monthly practices, but once we get into May, they're weekly. And it's very difficult for them to say, okay, let me just give you my chef for a week while they go to Miami to compete. But we were fortunate to be able to have that happen this year. And as far as bringing them together, sometimes we have competitions, you know, for junior chef, for the team. If we have more interest, then we have positions. You know, you've been to some of the competitions, you've seen it, it's pretty heated, it's hot.
Lucky for the chefs, they had a few hours to unwind and prepare for the heat of the action. First up was Chef Michael Matthew in the beef competition.
No, the nerves wasn't really there. It just, afterwards, sometimes you freeze up, sometimes you just gotta go to the floor, that's all. After you get back there and you start moving, you just feel like you're in a regular kitchen, so it's what you do every day, so you don't have no nerves about it.
Mike, who has competed in previous years, felt comfortable going into his first solo competition.
More calmer than last year, more relaxed.
How is that? Why is that?
Well, I got more prepared myself, more organized on my stuff. No idea really that was game plan than last year. I really didn't have a game plan. So.
In this competition, Mike had 2 hours to prepare and cook his dish with an additional 10 minutes to plate 3 meals for the tasting judges and 1 plate for display. Mike then had 30 minutes to plate 10 tasting dishes for the people attending the competition. Within that half hour, Mike must also clean his cooking station and leave it as he found it, clean and sanitary. If a chef goes 1 minute over any of the timing limits, then points will begin to be deducted per each minute. Not only do the chefs have to worry about plating their creations on time, they must plate within the confines of getting a warm meal to the judges. Plating too early will cause the dish to be served cold. And you guessed it, if a dish is served cold, the chef will then lose more points.
Everything is looking good. Everybody seems to be very organized. People are working really good, very methodical. So I'm looking forward to great plates.
Mike can utilize any ingredient from the common table, which is stocked with fruits and vegetables, seasoning and spices, stocks, dry goods, dairy items. He pretty much has anything that one can imagine adding to a meal or accommodating a meal.
I saw some of the stuff on the table, so I already had no. I wanted is beef, so I was gonna do potatoes at a regular or sweet. I stuck with sweet since it's a Caribbean thing. The coconuts and a lot of flavors that we accustomed to growing up with eating.
Mike was 5th in line to begin his prep, and it was go time from the second he hit the floor. Then it was time to unveil the mystery protein. Mike ended up with a ball-cut steak. From there, he hit the common table to start piecing together his creation.
First, I broke down the bao round, and I marinated it in the garlic and olive oil. I had my ginger seasoning in it. I marinated it. Then I broke down my vegetables, started my proteins, my starches, and just had everything cut and ready to go when the first hour was done so I could start cooking. Outside, I went in the grill my meat so I could have enough time for it to rest. It was perfectly cooked like I wanted it to. And then I just started the plate.
Mike decided to make a rust-up twist ginger spice steak with Mary Fancy coconut cream sweet potatoes, rattan spice zucchini, squash, pickled Christophine and peppers, with a St. John tamarind balsamic reduction.
Flavors was good, presentation was good. The use of the tamarind, which is you made a tamarind balsamic reduction. They love that. They like the flavors overall. Just wanted me to advance myself a little more, elevate myself a little more.
I think that Dog is a great chef. You know, he's a well-trained chef, and he understands Caribbean flavors and executes it well. I think the difference between like Dog and let's say Sean is that Sean is on a more modern path in terms of plating and presentation of food, and Dog is a little bit more old school. But, you know, I think we are a talented team, so.
Told me I played it a little safe, which in last year I didn't play safe, so I got penalized for it. So I was trying to just stick in the criteria that I thought they were looking for, but I guess they wanted a little more out of me. So other than when I was out back, my potatoes got the sauce broke a little bit, so it didn't hold as exactly like I wanted to because the grill was out back, so I had to leave it there cooking. By the time I got back, it was too far, so just that was the only thing I really saw. And forgetting the pickled vegetables was the biggest thing, and I was mad at myself.
Taste of the Caribbean Team USVI is brought to you in part by the United States Virgin Islands Department of Tourism. USVI Nice.
So nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet Santa Mas nice. So nice, so nice. Send cry full of pure vibes. So nice, so nice. Send John a real paradise. So nice, so proud to be from the Virgin Islands and the whole place nice.
To experience your Virgin Islands nice, go to visitusvi.com.
A portion of this program is brought to you by First Bank. Together, we are one.
2-bedroom, 1 bath.
3-bedroom, 2-bath?
How close to school?
How far from work?
Small yard close to town.
Or a large garden in the country.
With all the decisions that come with buying a home, the most important is choosing a local lender that understands the market
And understands our personal goals.
Home ownership begins at First Bank, and you have our commitment. We'll be with you every step of the way. First Bank, together we are one.
Taste of the Caribbean Team US Virgin Islands is brought to you in part by International Capital and Management Company, private merchant bankers.
Meanwhile, bartender Frank Robinson was gearing up to serve his vodka cocktail, the Julie. On the bartending side of the house, the competition is much different. Judges are, of course, looking for flavor, cleanliness, and use of ingredients.
The flavors, the creativity, we're finding it in terms of actually making cocktails that are homemade from a standpoint of infusing your own simple syrup with basil, or working with rosemary, or making a vessel to serve a cocktail out of a cassava. What we're focusing strongly on is technique. So this is a training program. This is a training competition. If you were to do a global competition, I've participated in several, the cocktail is made by the bartender and people taste, the judges taste the cocktail and they decide. In this one, we look to see not only if the taste is there, but that you spill anything, that you clean your hands. Is there ice on the floor? We want to clean up that technique. So we look at the technique very much. We look at the inspiration, the storyline, can they communicate with their guest? In addition to cocktail, obviously, if the cocktail's not good, there goes half of the points.
Unlike the chefs, the bartenders are mic'd, as they are expected to put on a show. Much of the craft and art of bartending also incorporates the art of conversation.
One thing that I wanted to be able to execute was the fact that, you know, they talk about less is more. And the fact that my approach to cocktails is very simplistic, but there's creativity behind it. It's a matter of creating complexity and flavors. Whereas I feel like a lot of my competition in this event are still stuck more on the presentation, more so than the execution of a delicious cocktail. What I do with cocktails is not something that you're necessarily going to find in a grand hotel, and of course, unless it's in their nice exclusive bar. And that's what I want to showcase. I want to showcase a higher end product of cocktail that does not require a whole lot of fluff, for lack of a better word. You know, I think all the extra frou-frou and nonsense is unnecessary.
Taste of the Caribbean Team USVI is brought to you in part by the United States Virgin Islands Department of Tourism. USVI Nice.
So nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet Santa Mas nice. So nice, so nice. Send cry full of pure vibes. So
To experience your Virgin Islands nice, go to visitusvi.com.
A portion of this program is brought to you by First Bank. Together, we are one.
2-bedroom, 1 bath.
3-bedroom, 2-bath?
How close to school?
How far from work?
Small yard close to town.
Or a large garden in the country.
With all the decisions that come with buying a home, the most important is choosing a local lender that understands the market
And understands our personal goals.
Home ownership begins at First Bank, and you have our commitment. We'll be with you every step of the way. First Bank, together we are one.
Taste of the Caribbean, Team USVI, is made possible in part by the West Indian Company Limited.
The cruise industry is growing globally as more people are traveling based on value and destination. As the demand for cruise travel increases, the cruise lines are building bigger ships and the ports have the responsibility to make accommodations. That's why West Indian Company Limited is doing its part to prepare for our future. The West Indian Company Limited. Stability, prosperity, our future.
Mine's just good, feeling good. A little nervous, but that's expected, that's natural. I'm up in 2 people. This is the 3rd bartender for Barbados Score right now, and I'm ready to kill it. This is what I do every day. This is what I love, so I'm gonna go in and do my thing.
Frank brought the crowd to the shores of St. Croix as he made his Julie.
On my mark of 1, 2, 3, begin. You have 5 minutes.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Frank Robinson, representing St. Croix and the entire U.S. Virgin Islands. This evening, my cocktail is going to be called Julie. It's an homage of the sweetest mango in the world, the Julie mango. And it's going to be smoking because if you know a girl named Julie, she look good too. Well, I had used a drink using coconut and mango a little bit differently before, and I really enjoy the natural combination of real mango and real coconut. To me, it's a beautiful balance of sweet and like a creamy kind of texture. But then when I found out that Robert Cooper died for Saint Germain, I wanted to highlight Saint Germain in one of my cocktails for this event. A little homage to a guy who made an amazing product. You know, he's 39 when he just died. I mean, young dude, but Saint Germain elderflower liqueur is behind every bar. I mean, they call it the bartender's ketchup because, you know, you put it in anything and it just makes it pop. I would pour out a little liquor if this wasn't carpet, so respect, rest in peace, Robert J. Cooper. Then we have here a little bit of fresh mango syrup. This mango syrup was made using mango juice, raw demerara brown sugar, and a little bit of fresh Julie mango up in the mix.
Julie mango!
Julie mango! Yeah. You know it's sweet. Yeah. And then a little bit of lime for balance, and then the smokiness. A friend of mine who's a vegan hit me to smoked dried coconut, smoked coconut, which takes on almost like a bacon kind of flavor, which blew my mind. Not my cup of tea per se, but the flavor was there. So I wanted to just highlight something a little bit different, put a little bit of complexity into it without doing too much. So we did the coconut husk smoked drink, coconut infused vodka, Julie mango syrup, little lime juice and bitters, and then served over coconut water and mango ice cubes so that as you drink the drink and as the ice melts, it doesn't dilute it, but just adds to the flavor. So I think everybody enjoyed it. From what I could tell from the crowd outside of just the Virgin Islands supporters enjoyed what I did, and I think the judges did as well. So I hope to continue on executing perfection tomorrow morning and tomorrow night. Fresh coconut water and Julie mango ice cubes. Nice and sweet, yellow and delicious. It's a real good treat. How much time, judges?
2 minutes remaining.
Thank you. Alright, and then we started with smoke, so we might as well finish with a little smoke, right? So put a little bit of. By the way, what I'm using to smoke these cocktails is fresh coconut husk. So keeping things natural, keeping in line with the product as it is, and helping to solidify that little bit of smoked flavor. So we got that. And a little bit of smoke. It's not working as well.
1 minute remaining.
Yeah,
Thank
all
you,
day,
guys.
Frank, all day, baby.
I got time.
Island time.
Island time. This thing is still trying to sabotage me by sliding, but that'll be all right.
Give me some Viagra.
Before that falls in the drink. And I present to you guys the Julie. A very simple cocktail with some complex flavor. I'm going to do the unveil on one of these. Cheers. The smoker almost slid off, but all in all, it came out perfect. I did what I wanted. We rocked this, we got this. VI baby, all day baby! I think everybody loved it. I had a good time making it. I think the crowd fed off of my energy. I hope the judges enjoyed my presentation, and I hope that the balance between the sweetness of the mango and the coconut with that smokiness was just something that blew them out the water. So, something very simple, but complexity in the flavors. So, we'll see how this goes. I think I could rock well in this round. So
I think you can.
I get a critique at the end of this round, so we'll see what the judges say.
Out of all, it was the most flown presentation. There was no shaking. There was no like getting nervous about it, apart from the little smoke.
A little smoke.
I mean,
that was just being cautious. I didn't want that to.
Even tasting the sample of it afterwards, it wasn't like the first cocktail I tasted. It kind of tastes like I could taste the distillate in the vodka. So and that really killed any layers of flavor that were happening.
Yeah.
But in yours, with the infusion of the svedka, with your own coconut and the time that it had to really penetrate it, as well as the ice cubes.
Yeah.
And the first smoke, the second smoke, that's how you build layers.
That's how you build layers of flavor.
And the cocktail showed it. It didn't have too much sweetness. It didn't have too much bitterness. It was balanced, and the smoke came through. Perfect. No, it wasn't like it didn't grow.
Yeah.
It didn't grow.